Just a little side note, you'll notice that this list actually isn't including any of the new promo, whether the champion pack, the event pack, or the tournament promo cards. It's just because we're trying to get this list out based on what you could play as set 10 drops. Obviously, as those promos and everything become more available, the deck will change. I just want everyone to be aware of that going in, that this is not, as of now, including those promos, though there are several of those that would just instantly kind of go on the deck, but just so everyone's aware. Yo, what is up, you cunning Chaozus? This is Corey Porter, Shenron's Lair, back another deck profile for y'all. We're continuing our look into set 10. Now we're getting more into the mono blue color, which we've not really dug into just quite yet. Today we're going to be looking at one of the more pushed archetypes of actually the set 10 when we get into like the promos and what's actually in the set itself. And that is the new set 10 Trunks leader. He's a really interesting leader. He does a lot with energy manipulation and things like that. He has some actually like pretty cool effects. Obviously, Future Trunks has been a really popular card in the card game in general, and just Dragon Ball history. Future Trunks has always been super popular, so it's really cool to see that we're getting a new take on it that does a lot of interesting things. As always, we stream over on twitch.tv/Shenron's Lair every Monday, Wednesday, and Friday, 3 p.m. to 6 p.m. Central Standard Time. We test all the decks that we profile here on the channel over on the Twitch stream, so please feel free to come check those out. We also have a Discord, so if you're looking for great conversation, you're looking for ruling help, you're looking for, input on deck lists, whatever it is, or you just want to come chat and hang out, please feel free to check that out. The link will be down in the description. But let's go ahead and get on into the list. All right, taking a look at our leaders. So on our front side, we're Trunks. We have the permanent during your opponent's turn. If you would add a card from your life to your hand or place it in your drop area, you may reveal it and add it to your hand instead. And then auto whenever this card attacks, draw one card. And then awaken when your life or your opponent's life is at 4 or less, you may draw one card, then switch up to one of your energy to active mode and flip this card over. So it's really nice about him on his front side. Obviously, he's able to draw just by swinging. He doesn't have to tag leaders to draw, which is nice as well. And then with his permanent, he's effectively crit proof. So every time your opponent were to attack into you and you were to take a life, you reveal it, and then it goes to your hand. So what's really good about that, if they were to attack you with crit, regardless, that card's going to your hand instead of going to the drop. This works out really well for us when we get into some of the cards and we get to the actual deck list, which you'll see in just a little bit. And then on our back side, we're a permanent during your opponent's turn. If you would add a card from your life to your hand or place it in your drop area, you may reveal it and add it to your hand instead. And then auto whenever this card attacks, draw a card. Then activate main once per turn for 2 blue. You choose one of your opponent's battle cards, place it at the bottom of its owner's deck. Then at the end of your turn, switch up to one of your mono blue energy to active mode. So we have that same permanent on the back where we're crit proof, which is really solid. And then now we're able to, effectively, clear our opponent's board by just bouncing things. It is limited to once per turn, which is, not as great, but it's fine. What's really nice about it is effectively only costs 1, because at the end of the turn we just untap that in one of the energies that we use, which is really solid. Now moving on into the actual list. All right, so first up we're running a Supreme Kai of Time, Unison of History, 2 blue. She's a 15k. Activate main once per turn. If your leader card is a blue Trunks future card, and you add one card from your life to your hand at the end of your turn, switch up to one of your mono blue energy to active mode. And then for her +1, she's activate main, add one card from your life to your hand, then choose one card in your hand and place it in your life. So the Kai really synergizes well with the leader. Obviously, she's only really been meant to be played with this particular leader. But as you'll see when we get into more of kind of the meat of the list, what the whole deck's trying to do, and this Kai really facilitates, is we're effectively trying to stack our life area. We're trying to put cards where we know where they're going to be. So whenever we take damage on our opponent's turn, we're able to reveal it, and then they have effects. Generally, what we're looking at right now, they're cards that come straight to the energy, so we're able to get in kind of more of our bigger things, and they last for a little while and things like that. So there's a lot of real solid interactions going on. We are able to just take a life if we need to with her activate main ability, which is nice as well. She also untaps energy for us, so just overall very solid. First up, we've got 4 SSB Son Goku, Tenacious Warrior. So he's a 1-drop, 1 blue, 4k. Auto add one card from your life to your hand. Whenever this card attacks, it gets plus 11k power for the turn. It was a 15k, and then auto whenever this card is KO'd, look up 7 cards from the top of your deck, add up to 1 blue Unison card with a specified cost of 2 among them to your hand, then shuffle your deck. Generally speaking, your opponent's not really going to KO this, so what this is really good for, it's a 1-drop Goku, so we can get into play really easily. We do need to have a pretty wide amount of Gokus and Vegetas in the deck, as we'll get into in a little bit. He's able to take life for us, he's able to pressure at 15, so just overall very solid. Next up, we're running, so far our super combo split, we're running a 2 line of the Zeno Edge of Space, and then 2 of the traditional Son Gohan accelerated slam super combo. But for the Zeno, it's auto if your leader card is blue, your life is at 5 or less, and it's your opponent's turn. Whenever this card is used in a combo, you may add 1 card from your energy to your hand, and if you do, place 1 card from your hand into your energy. So what this effectively allows us to do is earlier in the game, let's say we've got like a Vegito or something like that, one of our big bombs that we don't necessarily need in our hand right now, we can go ahead and charge it, and then as the game progresses, let's say we need to get that card going into our turn, we can use this Zeno Super combo on our opponent's turn, and then swap out those energy. Maybe we need to put a Goku, maybe we need to put a Vegeta into our energy. We're able to do that, get a little bit of energy manipulation. Obviously, it only works on our opponent's turn, so that's something to really pay attention to, and we don't get the natural draw. But he has an auto whenever you just play this card for 1, you get to draw a card, so it kind of balances out that way. The next up, we're running for my Bulwark of the Future. So she's a 1-drop, 1 blue, 4K auto. Whenever this card is played, look at the 5 cards from the top of your deck, then add 1 blue Unison card with a spec cost of 2, or 1 blue Trunks Future card among them to your hand, then shuffle your deck. This is just really, we can drop this on turn 1, especially if we go first. Just kind of ensure that we get into our Kai, which we really need to see on turn 2 to kind of really get our energy manipulation going. We're not running any Trunks Future right now other than our counterplay card, so that is something we can grab. We just don't have like a bunch of targets for that, but really this is just to help us find our Unison as soon as possible. Next up, we've got 4 Vegeta Savior of Time. He's a 1-drop, 1 blue, 5K auto. Add 1 card from your life to your hand whenever this card attacks. It gets plus 10K power and double strike for the turn. So this is another 1-drop Vegeta, so it works with our Goku, just having really cheap options to get in these Vegetas and Gokus, which is nice as we get into our Potara fusion. Something else that he's really good at, he's really good at dealing with majority of Unisons that are just the 15K variety, so he can swing into them, take a life. Now he's dealing double strike pressure on them, so forcing them to negate, or they're going to lose 2 counters, which is solid there as well. Next up, we've got 2 of the Vegeta Warrior that cross time. So he's a 3-drop, 1 blue, 15K unique, counterattack, negate the attack, and play this card. And then permanent during your opponent's turn. If your leader card is a blue Trunks Future card, reduce the energy cost of this card in your hand by 2. So he's just a 1-cost negate. He's similar to like a Roshi. The difference is that he is unique, so you can't just have like multiple of these out at a time, but he is a 15K Vegeta that can apply pressure. Vegeta is important as for our fusion and everything like that, so he serves a couple different purposes there for us. Next up, we've got 4 of the SSB Vegeta Blaze of Passion, which also goes with the SSB Goku Hope for Victory. Both of these have very similar effects, so we're going to kind of cover them at the same time, but they're both 3-drop 20Ks for 1 blue. And then permanent during your opponent's turn. If all of your energy is mono blue and you would reveal this card from your life to add it to your hand, you may place it in your energy in rest mode instead if you do draw a card. And then auto, at the end of your next turn, we would place this card energy with this skill. If this card is in your energy, place it in its owner's drop area. So we get basically a full turn to use this as energy or whatever we're going to do with it. And this works with both the Vegeta and the Goku, and this goes with the Kai as we were talking about. We're wanting to stack these in our life wherever we know where we're going to get them, so when we do take damage, we can reveal this and then put it into our energy so we can use it. These are, the earlier we can get access to these and see these, the better. So we can really just start manipulating our life and our energy that way. Next up, we've got 3 Obuni After Image Slash. It's a 4-drop, 2 blue, 20K, deflect, permanent. If an After Image token is in play in your battle area, this card can't be KO'd. And auto, whenever you play this card, play 3 After Image tokens, and then After Image tokens at 15K power, 0 combo cost, and 5K combo power. Activate main once per turn. If your opponent reveals the top card of the deck, if it's a battle card, at the start of your opponent's next main phase, choose with 1 of your blue energy and switch it to active mode. Obuni is probably the best blue card in the game right now. If you're playing blue, you're probably trying to find access to Obuni at some point. He's just great for 4 energy. You get 4 bodies on the board, a 20K and 3 15Ks. He untaps. He has deflect, so they can't interact with it. As long as you pay the energy and play the Obuni, you're at least going to get the tokens. They can't stop that, so it's really solid. Now you've got 15K combo power just on the board, just by the tokens by themselves, or you're able to pressure the board, maybe clear Unisons out, clear wide boards, whatever it is. Obuni's just really versatile, really solid. Like I said, one of the best blue cards in the game. Next up, we've got 4 Vegito Infinite Radiance, who's a 5-drop for 2 blue, 25K deflect barrier, Union Potara for a blue Son Goku and a blue Vegeta. And then permanent, if you have 4 more energy, you can choose battle cards in your energy when choosing cards to use with this card's Unison skill from your hand. So what this means is, effectively what we're trying to do is by using the Kai to manipulate our life, so then we can manipulate our energy. We're able to get Vegetas and Gokus into the energy, and then if we need to, we can, instead of using board battle cards, we can use them from our energy that we're going to lose anyway because they're going to be sacked at the end of the turn in order to get this guy out. And then once he's out, he can just kind of sit. Being a 25K, he's relatively bulky. He's got deflect and barrier, so you can't really interact with him. He just kind of sits until we get to what we need to later in the game. But the earlier you can get this guy out, the better, because he can just kind of sit until you get up into the big bomb, which is the card we'll cover next, which is the SSB Vegito Paralyzing Prowess. Running 4 of him, so he's an 8-drop for 3 blue, 35k with Deflect, Triple Strike, and Barrier. He EX evolves for 4 blue over Vegito with an energy cost of 5. And then auto, if your leader card is a blue Trunks future card, when this card is played or attacks, your opponent chooses 2 cards in their hand and places it at the bottom of their deck in any order. So obviously the turn you play it, they're having to rip 4 cards out of their hand. And then every turn consecutively, they're ripping at least 2 cards. He's just a big triple striker that can kind of close out the game by himself, especially if you're ripping those 4 cards out at the time. He's got Barrier and a Flex, so you can't interact with him, you can't stop him, and he can just kind of close out games. Being 35k, he's really big and fat, so he's hard to just kill manually. He's just really great value. He only works with his Trunks leader, and so we're able to get this guy out relatively early. You can get this out potentially as early as maybe turn 3, turn 4, and then just really just start punishing your opponent's hand. And the also nice thing is he doesn't have like unique, so you can get out multiple of these and just really just punish your opponent. Then next up, we're running 4 of the SS Trunks God Sealing Technique. 5-drop, 1 blue, 15k, counterplay. You can't activate counterplay skills on other cards for the turn. And then you may discard this card from your hand. If you do, the battle card being played is returned to its owner's hand instead. And then if you don't play this card, or if you don't, then play this card. And then permanent, if you have a blue unison card with 2 or more markers in play, you can activate this card's counter skill from your hand without paying its energy cost. This is a really great removal type card. Say your opponent taps out, play a big bomb. As long as it doesn't have a deflect, you can just play this for free, assuming you have the Kai in play, and then just bounce it back to their hand so it doesn't get any of its effects coming into play, which is really solid. It deals with a lot of things in the game because deflect's not as prevalent as it was before. So you're just able to deal with threats that way. We're able to search this off with our Mai, so it's really nice. Even if you have to get to a point where you're actually paying 5 for this, while it doesn't feel as good, it's still just a solid way to just remove something, which is solid. And then finally, we're playing 1 of the Black Smoke Dragon, the Eternal Evil. Pretty much everyone knows what this is by now. But this, I felt like this was probably our best, just really going for our big like SCR. We don't get really access to a lot of the other ones, but this allows us to just drop it on the board. We can board wipe, we can warp our opponent's hand, or even like warp the top of their deck and maybe mill them out or whatever it is. This works in real good combination with the Vegito. Let's say you can drop Vegito on turn 4, rip their hand 4 cards, then on the next turn, drop the Black Smoke plus the Vegito swing, get an additional 6 cards, and just empty out their hand, going in with a big 35k triple striker, which is just really solid. For our extra cards, we're running 4 Dimension Magic, just pretty standard, untaps 2 of our blue energy. It's sparking, so we can take a life if we need to. And then finally 4 Senzu Bean, just great energy manipulation, helps us keep our leader alive, get that 5k for the turn, untap energy, whatever it needs to be, just really solid there. But anyway, guys, that is it. The list is relatively linear. It doesn't have like a lot of surprises. You know pretty much what you're doing whenever you sit across from a Trunks leader, which is both good and bad. As long as you're able to get into the Kai so you can really manipulate your life, so you can just, pick your energy as you want it, you can really kind of get going. You really just need to get to like turn 3, turn 4, and then you can start really getting into action. But anyway, guys, that is it, and we will see y'all next time.